Hello and welcome everyone. Thanks for joining this webinar session by 42Gears. I am Ashish and I am working as a business analyst with 42Gears. Today we will discuss VR device management. We will explore the latest features that 42Gears UEM has to offer for the management of these devices. Virtual reality devices are widely being used by the enterprises to create more value. Virtual reality not only enhances the user experience, but also creates a whole new world for the user. Organizations looking for innovative ways to increase training efficiency, enhance productivity, reduce costs, and enhance collaboration are all adopting VR technology to do so. But companies riding the VR wave must also be prepared to deal with three basic challenges when optimizing the use of VR devices, such as content distribution, device deployment, and device management. So let's get started and talk a little bit about the history of VR and the evolution of VR devices. So the history of VR. So the origin of VR can be traced back to 1968 when it was mainly used for testing military flights through simulation. However, VR failed to make such impact during that time as the devices were huge and it could be afforded by large R&D labs only. Next, in the early 90s, Sega, the Japanese multinational video game company, developed Sega VR, a gaming accessory. This can be considered as one of the first attempts at a mainstream consumer-facing virtual reality headset. But enterprises have now realized the potential of AR and VR technologies to enhance or significantly transform the business processes. Many companies Many companies are now running pilot programs to determine whether VR adds the most value. VR devices can be leveraged to transform work processes, deliver a world-class experience to the customers, train employees, and so much more. Next, we will see the latest trends in the enterprise. After years in consumer market, VR devices have gradually become regular tools in the enterprise. Global enterprise VR revenue, which was $1 billion in 2018, is expected to soar to $12.5 billion by 2025. Businesses in every industry, from automotive to media and from healthcare to retail, are adopting the technology. In the past few years, virtual reality has gone from obscurity to acclaimed notoriety in the enterprise. Organizations in numerous sectors are leveraging this technology in a variety of ways. But there are some challenges with using VR devices in the workplace, and enterprises need to prepare to deal with these threats or face the consequences. So, what is fueling the growth of the VR market? In this slide, we'll talk about the major factors fueling the growth of overall VR market. Firstly, the increase in the number of startups in APAC is among the major drivers for the virtual reality market. The increase in research and development and growing acceptance of the newer technologies in APAC are a large contributor for virtual reality in the healthcare market. Companies such as Oculus, Pico, Sony, and Samsung offer several low-priced VR headsets and have played a crucial role in the growth of VR market, fueling the APAC's growth and extending their lead in the overall VR market by 2024. growing consumer and commercial markets with increasing investments in countries such as Japan, India, and China, which will boost the growth of VR market in APAC region. The use of VR has increased in commercial and consumer markets in APAC owing to the easy availability of VR technology in the region. Next is the penetration of HMDs in many verticals. So head-mounted displays will lead the virtual reality market owing to their increased use in consumer, healthcare, and training applications. VR HMDs help in patient engagement as well as in discharge training. VR HMDs can also be used for rehabilitation of patients and improve their mental and behavioral health through VR games. Along with gaming and entertainment, the use of VR HMDs in retail and e-commerce sectors will drive the VR market during the forecast period. Third is the huge investments in VR market. Global players are investing heavily in R&D, expansion, product launch, and advanced technologies in the VR market. They are tapping the growing markets for expansion. Now let us focus more on the enterprise use. So this slide talks to you about the top use cases of the VR in the enterprise. Starting off with the virtual reality in retail sector. So virtual reality is transforming the shopping experience completely by providing interactive and informational experience to the customers. According to a forecast by Goldman Sachs, the market for AR and VR in retail will reach $1.6 billion by 2025. Now coming to the virtual reality in medical sector. VR is being used by healthcare professionals and medical students to ensure that high-risk procedures and surgeries are performed with more accuracy. VR apps such as medical realities help professionals to get a 360-degree view of surgeries from across the world. VR can also help treat post-traumatic stress disorder and train surgeons performing high-risk surgeries. Next is the VR in immense learning and training. So VR is being widely used for training purposes in all sectors, from universities and hospitals to airlines and retail. It helps them save millions in training costs and reduce risks. Not only it also helps the learners retain more than what they do while using the traditional training methods. VR is being used in a California public school to send students on a virtual field trip and train pilots in virtual cockpits in Japan. Virtual reality in travel and hospitality. Travel and hospitality organizations are using VR technology to show destinations before booking. This is especially helpful for small and lesser known places or destinations. It provides better customer engagement and experience. Now, these are just a few of the use cases of VR in the enterprise. There are numerous examples where VR is enhancing how the world's top companies work. Now that you have got a good idea of the overall VR market, how it works and its application, let's quickly take a look at the security threats associated with the virtual reality. The adoption and management of virtual reality can be tricky. Just like any other connected device, VR devices are IP-enabled devices, and most of them are not designed to withstand the security threats evolving in business landscapes. Businesses must conduct a risk assessment before deploying these devices in the enterprise to identify the threats lurking behind VR adoption. In planning for security, you might also need to account for highly publicized security vulnerabilities around malware, ransomware, DDoS attacks, and so on, which can impact the VR systems in unique ways. Threats related to VR devices can be broadly categorized as data-based privacy risks, user manipulation, and security risks. So coming back to data-based privacy risks, AR/VR headsets collect the data on head and eye movements and how the users react to various types of visual content. Setups that include hand props and/or gesture detection technologies can even record data on a physical behavior. The challenge will be to secure the personal data that is collected and maintain transparency about how it is stored, processed, and mined. The user manipulation. The data collected by means of AR/VR devices will jeopardize the user privacy by providing organizations access to more precise information on how users interact with and/or consume the content. Owing to the immersive experiences offered by AR/VR devices, they can also be used to influence users like political sentiments, buying decisions, especially when the companies can segregate and target their audience at a granular level. The last is the security risks. So for VR devices, security threats are a bit different as most of it is confined to closed environments. And since a headset covers the user's entire vision, a hacker taking over the device may cause serious harm by manipulating the content to cause dizziness. Now let's move on to our next segment, which is about our solution 42Gears VR device management solution. Uh, so how can 42Gears VR device management solution help businesses? Businesses of all sizes can easily onboard, configure, and manage gear devices with 42Gears VR device management solution. Let's go through the features one by one. Starting off with is install application. This feature allows you to deploy apps and content in bulk quickly and easily. Next comes is the secure kiosk mode. This feature restricts the unwanted use of device and lets you turn the devices into dedicated purpose tools. Remote screencasting. Businesses can remotely reboot or wipe devices, remotely transfer files using the remote screencasting option, or monitor device health from a central console. Configure Wi-Fi. Admins can configure Wi-Fi on the devices to enable the users to seamlessly connect to a secure network. Configure run script jobs. Admins can use the run script jobs to allow apps on SureLock home screen, enable or disable kiosk mode, enable or disable single app mode, exit SureLock, and launch SureLock. Why businesses should opt for 42Gears VR management solution? So this slide talks about how 42Gears provides an additional value to its customers. So businesses can get 42Gears advantage to ensure easy adoption of VR devices. by locking down the devices and allowing access to only approved applications. This helps ensure that devices are only being used for an intended purpose, ensuring that they do not become malware gateways. The ability to push apps and content is easy, and the ability to provide remote support whenever required. So some of the VR managed devices by 42Gears. 42Gears offers a scalable platform to support a wide variety of VR headsets. Some of the devices that we support includes Oculus Go, Pico G2, and Lenovo Mirage Pro. Now let me show you the features supported by 42Gears UEM. Today I have an Oculus Go device with me. So let's begin. Before going into the intricacies of Oculus VR device, let me just take you to the SureMDM console and give you a high-level view as in how the home of the console looks. So as you can see, this is the home of the SureMDM console. So the home of the console is divided into three panels: the left hand side, the central, and the right hand side. On the left hand side, you can see that we have groups, tags, and filters. So basically any device that gets enrolled to the console can be added to a particular group, and it can be used further for applying jobs or profiles to a particular group, so that as a single go, all the devices that are in a particular group can have the job deployed. In the central, this is something that we call a device grid, so which has all the device details. You get the device name, the model name, the status, the battery, the OS version, and so on. Above this, this is what we call a quick action toolbar, where you can perform different actions like delete or apply a particular job or profile to a particular device, or locate a particular device, or you can blacklist a particular device, and so on. Just below it, this section, we have an activity logs wherein all the logs are displayed on the UI. On the right hand side, we have a device info panel which tells you about all the device details for a particular device. So as you can see that I have already enrolled the Oculus Go device, and I have named a separate group Oculus Go, and I have enrolled my device in this group. So all the device info, like the device model, the operating system, the device name, is visible on the UI. Besides it, we also have the network and the battery information in the device info panel. So the network consists of the mobile signal or the Wi-Fi signal and the IP address that it is being connected to. And the battery and the memory management is also being displayed. Next, so let's talk about the features and how do we deploy it using 42Gears. So we have two separate sections. As you can see, we can go to jobs, click on new job, select Android VR as a platform, and we can see the list of jobs that 42Gears provides. So these features are, as explained before, the install application, SureLock settings, file transfer, run script, composite job, Wi-Fi settings. Let me explain you these features again in detail. So in install application, it's basically installing application and deploying it to various devices. SureLock settings is once the device is in a kiosk mode, you can add the different applications using the SureLock settings. File transfer is very similar to install application, where you can transfer files to this device. Next, we have run script, and we support different run scripts like launch your lock, exit your lock, enable single app mode, enable kiosk mode, and then the device can work accordingly. Next, another job that can be pushed to the device is a composite job, wherein you can group the multiple jobs in a single job and then deploy it to the device. And finally is the Wi-Fi settings, wherein if you want the device to get connected to a particular SSID, you can configure those settings and then deploy it to the device. So let us take case of a file transfer, wherein I click on file transfer and I click on add. So it asks me the file path and the URL and the device path. So I will select a particular file. So I would be selecting SureLock 11.7_log and then the device path. So this basically is this file will get transferred into the device path, whatever is mentioned in the text box in the SD card. So now I click on OK, and I will provide a job name. So I have provided a job name as Ashish File Transfer 1 and I click on OK. So it says that the job has been created successfully. Now my next step is to deploy this job to this Oculus device. So as you can see that this is the device that has been enrolled, and just to show you on the device side, you just need to go to library, so it takes time to sync with the server. So it's updating the info, wherein on the device side you can see library, and then you have to click on unknown resources, and then you can see the Nix agent on the device. So one of the most important features that we provide is taking a remote of this device. So I click on this device and I click on remote. So now it will tell me to capture the screen. So now while taking the remote, the administrator can see whatever the actions are being performed on the VR device. As you can see in previously, I had sent a SureLock 11.79 log file, and that is got displayed in the file section. Next, one very important thing that we need to focus on is If you can see, in order for some features like install application, file transfer to work, your device should be made the device owner. So you can see in here that the Android enterprise status is a device owner and it's displayed on the console. So next very important feature is to enable the kiosk mode. As of now, if you can see, uh, the kiosk mode is not enabled and we do not see any icon displayed over here. So in order to enable the kiosk mode, just right click, you can see SureLock and you can enable the kiosk mode. So I click on enable the kiosk. Now this is something it shows that the job isn't pending. So it takes time for the device to sync with the server, and now you can see a green tick has come, which means that the job has been deployed successfully. So now, as you can see on the right hand side, that the device name that has been provided through the imported file is client 0470 and it's online. Now I will try to go back, but it's not allowing me to go back and to the home screen. It means that the device is now in a kiosk mode. Similarly, when the device is in kiosk mode, you can add multiple apps in the by clicking on the SureLock. So it gives you a warning that no past SureLock settings are available for this device. Would you like to edit and apply default SureLock settings? Click on yes, and here in any application package that you need to be enrolled in the kiosk mode and you need to add in the kiosk mode, you can just add and click on OK, and those apps will get enabled in the kiosk mode. So these are some of the features that 42Gears provides. So with this, we come to the end of this session. Thank you for listening. If you have any questions, please feel free to drop in a mail at webinars@42gears.com or visit us at www.42gears.com. Thank you, everyone. It was a pleasure being with you today. Thanks again for joining me today, and we will see you next time.